Let us try to solve the exercise number 3 in the part A of PHP MySQL lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to write a PHP program demonstrating the usage of a session to store and retrieve the user credentials like username and password. Then they said that combine the login, welcome, and logout functionalities into two files, namely the index.php and welcome.php. So what is that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to create two PHP files. The first file name is index.php, which will have the login functionalities, and that is what they have said to combine the login. Okay. And we are supposed to create one more file with the name welcome.php, and we are supposed to have the welcome as well as the logout functionality. So that is what they have said. And they said that we are supposed to store and retrieve the credentials of a username and password. So these things we are supposed to store it, and then we are supposed to retrieve it. So let's go ahead and let's try to create the exercise. So I have the Apache web server running. I don't want MySQL for this exercise, so I have not started it. Let's go ahead and let's start the NetBeans. And generally, whenever you create a project in NetBeans, the file index.php is created by default, so you don't have to do anything. Suppose if you are creating one project for one exercise, then what you can do is you can go to the file and then click on new project and then select the PHP and then select PHP application. Click next, give any name to the application and then click finish. Instead of this, the better option is you just create one project and then keep all your files within that one particular project. That way it is easier for you to locate your project and then use it. Now suppose if this project tab is not visible, go to the window and you get the option for project. So let's go ahead and let's see. Suppose this is created by a student called as Priya, and you notice that whether it is Priya or somebody else, you will notice that there will be always an index.php file, which this will be there by default. So if it's not there, you can just add it. I assume that it is there. Suppose if it is not there, just go to the heading of this project, like Priya, whatever name that is given, or whatever name here that is given. Right click on it and then say new PHP web page. Give a name that is index.php and then finish it up. I won't do that thing because it is already there. Suppose if the file is there, just double click on the file name, and again whenever you try to double click on, don't click on the text rather than click on the image. So just double click on the image and you will notice that index.php is open. If you close it by mistake, just if you just close it, I'm just going to say discard and then close it, and then go to the project, double click on the picture over here and it will be opened for you. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. As usual, there are two lines of remark statement which I don't want for my project. Let's try to build this particular thing, and that is let's try to build the login page first, and then we will do the other functionalities. So I have opened the index.php file here. I opened this index.php, and now I'm going to add the login details. So what are the things that we are supposed to do it? Okay, so let me give the title here. This is the HTML header tag title, that is I'm going to say login page. And let's start with the h2 tag here, and I'm going to say h2 and say login. This is what they have said in small case. So login, this is what they have said here. This is the login, this part, and then we have username and password. Let's try to fill that particular thing here. So I'm going to start with the next part. Go here. Let me zoom in for you. Then I'm going to say username and a semicolon, followed by I want a text box here, so I'm going to say input, and the type is text. Yeah, so let it be text because this is going to be the text box. And let me give it a name, and the name I'm going to say uname, shortcut uname. This is the variable name that I will be using in my PHP. And let me say this is required. So not read only, this is required. Again, required is just a placeholder there. It is that attribute does not take anything. After this, I'm going to press enter. Now, one thing you must notice over here, even though I have not done the form for this one, before you do that, you will notice a few things over here. There is a space between. You notice there is a space between here. Notice there is a space here, and there is a space here in between these two. So there is this space is there. How do I get the space? One of the easiest way to get the space is using break. But if you put the break, yeah, you want to receive the spaces that they have shown here. This space you will not be able to see it. How do they get that thing? Easiest way is to go and put it inside a paragraph tag. So I will start with the paragraph tag. I'm going to go here and I'm going to say paragraph tag, and I will end the whole thing with the paragraph tag. So this way the whole thing is there between the paragraph and paragraph tag. So this will add that required spaces between the two things over here. So there will be that space that whatever I wanted in between the space what is there, that I'm going to achieve it using the paragraph tag. Now let's go ahead and let's do the other part. Remember, I have not put these things inside a form. I will put that inside a form. Just give me a second. And the last part, the next part is the password. So let me type it as password. The type is not text. The type of it is a password. So I'm going to say pass and control space. This is password. And I'm going to say password. I say pbird shortcut, so that you can reduce typing. The last thing that you expect us to put is the login button. So after this, I'm going to put the login buttons. Again, this is input. Type is submit, and name is let's say btn, and the value is whatever they have said. So what they have said. Let's look at what they have said here. So this button must have a text called as login. So this word must be there. So the value is that word login. That's login. Now this whole thing, you know very well, that has to, this whole thing has to be placed inside a form here. So let me start the form. Start the form. I'm going to use the method as post. So this is the post method. That's enough. The form will submit to itself, and finally I'm going to just close the form. So this is the whole thing is inside form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the empty place and I'm going to say format, and if I say format, it will format it. So this is the form that I have. So this is the form that I have it here. Within that form you have the username, then you have the password, and then you have the button. So if you just I'm going to just save it, and I'm going to right click and then try to run this. It may take slightly longer time, but let it run. By the time let's look at what is that we are supposed to do. Okay, so when you click on this login button, we are supposed to check the username and password. If the username and password is not correct, we are supposed to show an error message. Otherwise, we are supposed to show the, if the username and password is something, then we are supposed to show the, if everything is correct, then we are supposed to show the welcome screen. So this is what we are supposed to do. Let's see whether it has come. It has not come. Let me try one more time. Level 5. So let's see whether it's able to show that here. This is how it is going to look like. You have the login page with you with the username and password. So you type any username here. So you type Gopi and password. Let's say Gopi has a password. Let's say the password is also Gopi. And when you click on the login button, we are supposed to check whether the username and password is correct. If the username and password is correct, then we are supposed to show the login, that is welcome page. Otherwise, we are supposed to say that the username and password is not proper. So let's do that thing. So when this particular button is clicked, so this login button is clicked, we are supposed to take action. So let's go ahead and let's take the action. Now, before we take the action, one important thing that you must remember, and that is whenever we are dealing with the session, this word, whenever we are dealing with the word session, now the session must be started right at the beginning of the page. So before you start anything on the page, the session has to be activated. So this must be the first line. If at all you are doing something, start the session before doing anything. When I say before doing anything, before even loading the HTML file, start the session. So you can't start the session afterwards. So in this particular exercise, I'm going to go right at the top. If you notice that this is the HTML part, right at the top, HTML part. Even before loading this, you have to start the session. So if the session is not started, then you will be in much bigger trouble. In other words, you cannot start the session later. Once the page has started loading, then you cannot say I want the session. So I pressed clicked here and press enter so that I can make a provision for writing my PHP here. So right at the top, I'm going to just use this question mark. Right at the top, I'm going to start the PHP. Right before doing anything. So before even typing my HTML, I'm going to write a PHP. And what's the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the PHP that I want you to start the session. So how do I say that? I'm going to say session. You can use the control space and not the bottom. So session underscore start. Okay, ST if you do it, session underscore start, and then you press enter. So this is the first thing that you must do. If at all you want the session, start the session right at the beginning. Then you do anything that you please to do. Okay. Now, what are the things that you are supposed to do? When somebody clicks on this button, submit button, that is this login button. That is this. When somebody clicks on this login button, we are supposed to take the action. So let us first verify whether that login button was clicked or not. What is the variable name of that button is btn. Okay. So I'm going to go right at the top and I'm going to say if okay, is set. You are familiar with this word is set. Remember, I'm using the method. Let me just show you. I'm using the method in my form. I'm using the method post. If I use the method get, then I'm supposed to use the get array. Now I'm going to use the post array. So within this post, I am searching for btn. So if this button btn, where is this button btn? So this submit button is there, that is login button is there. If this button with the name btn, if that is clicked, in other words, if this button is clicked, then you are supposed to do something. So let's do that something part. So if this button is clicked, then we have to retrieve the username and password. We have to retrieve both of them. Okay. So how do I get to that the two things? So let's try to get the username and password. I'm going to create a variable called as username. you use the word uname. And from where will I get it? So from the post, I have to get the username. So the username will be posted. So this username that you have it here. What's this thing? Let's try to get it here. So this username, whatever you have typed, this from this value is stored in a variable called as uname. So this username, I gave the name uname here. Notice that uname, that's the name of that text box. So this text box is called as uname, and the value from it is retrieved and stored in one more variable called as uname. In the same way, I'm going to say pwd password is equal to $_post, and what is the variable name that I have given it for my password field. So this password field that you have here, what is the name? So the name that I gave to this one is pbird. So you can give anything, ABCD, anything you can give, but I gave the name as pbird. So I'm going to say that this password text box, which is named pbird, whatever value which is there inside it, just retrieve that value and store it inside the what is variable called as uname and password. Now what is the thing that we are supposed to do? We are supposed to check whether the username is equal to something and password is equal to something. If the username is equal to something and password is equal to something, and if it is correct, then allow them to go to the login page. If it is not correct, show an error message. So this is what we are supposed to do it. But let's look at what they are saying. So if the username is user2, this is what they have said. If the username is user2, then allow them to go to the welcome page. What about the password? The password they have not mentioned. So what to do? So I assume that the password is also uname. You can give anything. A username is user2 and password is also username, or you can say username is something, password is welcome at 123. Anything you can say. So it's up to you. So let us check for that thing. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say if okay, this username, whatever the user has typed, if this is equal to user2, this is what they have said that. So if it is a user2, this is user2, and so very important thing over here, and the password is equal to, it is up to you. You can type anything. Let me say that password is password. You can type user2 welcome at 123, anything. So okay, because they in the entire question they have not said what is the username and what is the password, but I just assume that the password is password. So what is there in it? Okay. So if that is true, then we are supposed to store this information in the session. So this is what we are supposed to do. What are the information that we are supposed to store? We are supposed to store, according to them, we are supposed to store the username and password. So this is what they said, the store session, store and retrieve user credential like username and password. I don't know why the password has to be stored, but they said that username and password has to be stored. So we will store it. Okay, what is there for us? Okay, so we are going to store that username and password. How do we do that? Whenever you start the session, you will get the variable that is an array called as a session. So I'm going to go to this session. This is the available. So this session is available. Okay, contains values and so on and so forth. So this you can read the story about it. I'm going to create this is an array. Sorry. So in this, zoom in file. In this, you can say username. I'm going to say uname. You can give anything. You also you can give username or un. Anything you can give. Okay. Username is whatever the username that you have retrieved. Okay. Also, because they said that I'm doing it because they said in the question that you are supposed to show the password. I'm going to say pd pw. Okay. Password, you can say anything there. Okay. Password is What is the password? They have not mentioned the password. I'm going to say password is password. Okay. Let's store the password, whatever the password they have given. Okay. This I'm not going to show it to the user. Remember, it's not a great idea to show the username and password. Then if the username and password is correct, then you are supposed to store them and then send them to the welcome page. So this is what you are supposed to do it. So when the user types the username as a user2 and password as password, this is correct combination, send them to the welcome page. How do you send them to a welcome page? From this index.php page, you are supposed to send them to welcome.php, and that is what they have said here. You are supposed to send them to welcome.php. How am I going to do it? What is the procedure? The procedure is very simple. If at all you want to send the someone to the other page, remember, you cannot simply change the page here. You have to tell the browser. Remember, it is a browser, that is a client. This browser is coming to you. So this browser is coming to your website. So now what you have to tell the browser is, you have to send the message to the browser saying that you don't come here, don't come to this page, go to some other page. So in other words, we are sending the browser a redirection instruction saying that don't come here, this page is over, go to the other page and you can see the something in the other page. So this is called as a redirection. You are telling the browser, or you are redirecting the browser to some other page. How do I do that thing in PHP? So what is the procedure? So in this procedure, remember, whenever you send something, there are two parts. This is what is your data. This part will be shown on the browser. Apart from this, there will be a header that has control information. So you have studied about TCP/IP and all the other things. There is a header that contains the control information, and we have to that redirections instruction that we are giving, that has to be part of the header, not the part of the body, because body is something that is shown to the user. Now here, now we are not showing, we are not telling the user that click here and go there. We are just telling the browser that, see, don't come to this page, go to the other page. So within this header, we have to write some instruction so that when this header is received by the browser, it will automatically send a, or it will automatically redirect you to some other page. How do I do that? So in my PHP, I go to my PHP here, and I'm going to say, to send a redirection, I have to send a header. That's it. Okay. Header is used to send the raw header information and so on and so forth. Okay. So header is used for all these things. So somewhere they have said that header followed by the location. So the, if you notice over here, so the, if the header, if you send that, you will, it will send a redirect instruction, that is HTTP redirect code 302, saying it to redirect to some other page. So I'm going to use this header. Within this header, they have already said, use the word location. So this location word, if you are using it, it will send a 302 redirection. Okay. And when you send the location, that is not enough. You have to say which is that page that you have to go. So let me write the header story again. So within this header, you notice the header, we zoom in for you. So this header, if you look at this header, with this header, let's go to this redirect. If you say the word, or if you use the word location, and this word location will give you a redirect, or it will send a redirect instruction to the browser, and within that thing you have to say where you have to go. For example, if you say location is http www.example.com, then your browser will redirect to http www example.php. It's going to go to that particular page. So this is what is going to happen. So in my case, it is not the example dot some page. What they have said is they have already said here the story that they have said is the second page is given the name welcome.php. So this welcome.php, I will put one space here and then say directly here welcome, not this in capital. Everything is coming in capital. Welcome dot php. So welcome.php. So this is the header that says redirect. After this, what is that we are supposed to do? Remember, after this part, when this information is sent to the browser, where is my Internet Explorer? The browser will redirect to some other location. After this, this page, whatever you write in this page is of no use, because you are saying that stop this page, don't come to this page, go to welcome.php. So whatever you write after this part is of no use, because it's not going to be executed. So because you send the information, header information to the browser saying that this page there is nothing is there, you go to welcome page. So whatever script that is there is of no use, it will not be sent to the browser, because even if you send it, browser would have reached welcome.php and it will show the content of the welcome.php. So your index.php, whatever information that you had, you are writing after this, will not be shown up. Remember, very important thing, you are entering this part only if the username and passwords are correct. Otherwise, you will not execute where is this part. You will simply go to the remaining part of this page. So if this condition is true, then only you will go for a redirection. Otherwise, you will enter into the this page and you will show the content of this page. Okay, so once this is done, what you can do is you can tell the PHP that don't do any processing. One of the easiest way is to use this word die. A die means stop the PHP script. There is also some people use this word called as, I think, exit. Okay, both of them are same. I'm going to use the word die. Die means you know very. So die means you tell the PHP go die. Okay, so it's of no use doing anything after this. You can use the word exit also. Both will do the needful thing. Now, what if the username and passwords are not correct? In that case, what's going to happen? So else story has to be there. Else, what are you going to say? You have to show the report to the user saying that, see, your username and password is not correct. So you have to report and say that whatever you are writing is not, whatever username and password that you typed is not proper, or it is incorrect. How do I going to do it? I'm going to store it in a variable called as a report. Okay, and I'm going to say either your username or password is wrong. Okay, please try again. Let me use the T capital. Try again, and an explanation. So your username and password is not correct. Please try again. Now, because I'm going to use this variable directly, remember this variable is coming into picture only if the username and password is not correct. Then only this variable, if this part is not executed, then this variable will come into existing. But I want this variable to be part of every page, whether you are clicking the button or not, regardless of anything, whether you click the button or whether you type something or not. If this page is loaded, this page is getting loaded, I want that variable to be there. How do I do it? Before any if or anything, before any condition, directly right at the top, I'm going to say report is equal to blank. So this is like you are initializing the report with the blank. If you don't do it, you'll get an error. Okay. So now let's come back to this one. Either you will be redirected to welcome.php or you will get a error message. Now where are you going to show the error message? Generally you show the error message at the bottom here. After this login, you show the error message saying that your username and password is wrong. So let's show that thing. So after my where is this part? After my form, where is this form? Form as a username. Where is this? Form as a username, password, and this login button. After this login button, I want to show that thing. So I'm going to show here after this form. I will use H3 and let me use the style here. And style, I am just using the word color. You can use the other one also. Color is red because where okay, color is red. And then I'm going to show the variable. How do you show the value of the variable? You use the expression here, and you're going to say report. Okay, so this report, wait a minute. This report, whatever you said, username and password does not exist. That username and password will be shown here. Let's run this and let's see what is going to happen. So I'm going to go here and just going to click here and press enter. It's going to refresh this page. Let me say Gopi is logging here. So let's say Gopi, and the password is also Gopi. Let's say the password will not make any difference. Let me click on login, and what you must get is a username and password. Let's see what is that undefined array key blank. Let's look at that part slightly later. So username and password is incorrect. Please try again. So this is what I got it. Let me just verify what is this line number 6. What is that mistake I have done in the line number 6? This is 5 6. Okay, oh sorry, I just somehow I deleted, or I don't remember what I did there. Okay, so these two words must be there. What is this? First one was username. This was username. I know I removed that. First one was username. Remember this, the two things that you have it here. This field is this, what is it called, username, and the other one is the password. So two things there. That is, I kept a blank there. Somehow while talking, I just kept blank. Let me save it and let's try it one more time. So we'll just go here, press enter, and let us see the word here, Gopi, and password is also Gopi. Press enter, and you must get username and password is wrong. Please try again. So what if the username is user 2, user 2, and the password is password? I'm typing this that I have typed the password there. It is not showing me that thing. Okay, just press enter, and it will redirect me. There is nothing. It is not found. Don't worry, because I have not created it. This page is not found because I have not created it. But what you notice over here is it went to welcome.php. So you notice here it went to welcome.php. That welcome.php is not there. That is why it is just saying that okay, I can't find that welcome.php because you have not created it. Let's create that one, and let's continue with the work. That means we are getting redirected. So it is sending me a redirection to the welcome.php page. Now it's a time to go to this project. So I'm going to click on this project, and you ensure that this is your project. Don't start adding it to somebody else's project. So it is assuming that Priya is doing her work, and then she's adding one page. So right click here and then say new, and PHP web page. Click on this, and you can't give any name. Your name must be same as this one because it is getting redirected to welcome.php. So you can say welcome. The word PHP is automatically added. If you notice over here, it will add the .php. You don't have to write that .php. You just write welcome, and that is the end of it. Just click finish it off, and that welcome.php is created for you. The NetBeans will create a new page called as welcome.php, and then what is that we are supposed to do? within this welcome.php page, we are supposed to show a welcome message, and we are supposed to say that you are in a secured area, you are logged in, or this is a secured area, you are logged in, and we are supposed to show a logout, a hyperlink called as logout. So let's do that thing. Let me go to the admins here. So whether it has completed or not, let me just do that. I don't know why it is taking slightly longer time. So now you can see that there is a welcome.php page. You notice that it is created a welcome.php page within the previous folder, and you can double click and open it, or by default it will open it. And the first this part, this is the remark statement that is not really required. And what is that we are supposed to do? We know very well. We are supposed to say the welcome. So let's do that thing. I'm going to say welcome page, and I'm going to say here in H2, I'm going to say welcome. This is what is written there, and what else they have said. Go to this part. This is a secured area. So let me type that. This is a secure area. What else they typed there? This is a secure. This is what I said. This is a secured area, and you are logged in. So this is what we are supposed to say, and you are logged in. That is what is there. Where is it gone? You are logged in and full stop. Okay. After this, there is a break. Let me put a break here. And as you are typing, if you notice that whenever you open a bracket, the NetBeans will give you a lot of help. If you are plugged up with that, just press escape, it will vanish. After that, what is that you are supposed to do is, where is it gone? You are supposed to create a hyperlink called as logout. So let me create a hyperlink. How do you create a hyperlink? Now, to create a hyperlink, you have to use the anchor tag. So we are supposed to use a anchor tag. Now, this anchor tag, how do you start the anchor tag? You know very well. To start a anchor tag, you just say a and href. This is the reference. You are supposed to use this. What is this? Word, where is it to see why it is coming, the word logout. Okay, it is supposed to go somewhere, but we are supposed to write in between. What we are supposed to write is logout. So we are supposed to write logout. That's right. Where is it taking? Why it is coming in between? Log out. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to do. Let me just save it. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to go back to my index.php. Let me press enter here, and username is user2, password is password. What is the word I used? Password. You press enter and use it. Okay, welcome, and you are in the secured area. You get the option logout. Is it coming slightly down? Okay. You notice there is okay. There is a space in between. So let's in our case there is no space in between. I'm going to use the paragraph tag here. The paragraph will either, otherwise you can use a two bracket. It's up to you. Whether if you don't like to use paragraph and close paragraph, you can use the bracket. Let me just press enter here. This page is going to come now. Logout. So when the person clicks on logout, you are supposed to close the session. So how do I do that thing? Remember, this is not a button and this is not a form. So I'm going to submit this form back to the same page. So I'm going to send it to the same page. How can I send it to the same page? Okay. To send it to the same page, you just write the name of the welcome.php. This is the same page, the page in which you are working. This same page, send it to the same page. Okay. But along with that, you can give a parameter. Now this is going to be a get parameter. Remember, in the previous case, we were using post parameters. So in the previous case, we were using post. Now I'm going to use the get. So in the getter, everything comes in the URL. So here you can give anything. So for example, I'm going to set the parameter, say logout equal to 1. So just to say that you are supposed to log out. Let me save this and let me press enter here to see what is going to happen. So this is loaded. Now when I click on this logout, look at what is going to happen. I'm going to zoom in for you. So look at here, what is going to go on here. When I click on logout, remember it's going to come back to the same page, no doubt. But along with that, it's going to give me a parameter called as logout. So it's going to show a word logout here. So this is what I want. So I'm going to check whether that word is there. If this word is there, logout word is there, then we are, you know very well, we are supposed to log out. How do we log out? So log out is nothing but you have to destroy the session. Where did you started the session? So that question is there. Remember, you started the session here. You started the session. You have to, if at all you want a session, every page must have the session. Now this session which was started in this page has to be destroyed when somebody logs out. So in other words, I have to start the session, then say destroy the session altogether. How am I going to do it? Remember, first thing, if at all you are working with the session, session must be the first thing that will come in every page. You have to start the session right at the beginning. So right at the top of this HTML page, I'm going to say session.start. Okay, session underscore start. I'm going to start the session. So session has to be started, whether you like it or not. Start the session. Then think of destroying it or killing it or burning it to do everything. First, start the session. You say that there is a session, and you are going to say that destroy this particular session. How am I going to say that? Okay. So here, when are you going to destroy it? When this word logout word comes up. If at all that word logout is there in the get request, remember this is the get request. It is not the post request. Get requests are always shown here. In the guest request, if you get the word logout, then destroy the session. So let's go ahead and let's do that thing. Now, yeah, I'm going to say if, okay, so underscore get, this time it is the get, underscore get, if you have the word logout. Okay, so how am I going to say that thing? Is exist, you know very well. Is set. So is set. What is this? Is set logout. That means logout is there as a part of my URL request. Somebody has asked me to log out. And the very important thing, if somebody may say logout equal to 10, then it is not logout. Logout equal to 1 means only logout. Or some word you can say, if logout is 1 means otherwise logout if it's there, then it is logout. It is not that. If that word logout is there and if it has some value, okay, so you can say, you can just say if that word logout is there, then it is also correct. There is nothing wrong in it. So just to show you that thing. So I'm going to just go here and I'm going to say if this is set, okay, and I'm going to say, let's say this is just for your understanding, a result equal to logging okay out something somewhere, and let me just initialize this. Remember, this is just for usage. Don't use this one, and I'm going to just show it here. in H2, I'm going to show that the result here. What is this? What is this? This result. Now in my logout, I'm not going to give anything. Okay. I'm not going to give this word logout if it is there. The no value is set. Just that word logout is there. No value. In the previous case, what I said, logout is equal to 1. So I said logout is equal. Now what I'm doing is I'm saying nothing. That word logout is there. Okay. In that case, what's going to happen? So let me go back. This press enter. So you notice that logging you out because that word is there. Suppose instead of this, some other word is there. Some other word is there. XYZ, some word is there. Okay. Press enter. That won't come. Okay. If this word is there, that what is that word? What is that word? That very fancy word is log out. If this word is there, log out, then I'm going to log out. So that is simple as that. So I'm going to keep it very simple so that you don't have to write. If that word logout is there, then you are not writing anything. Remember, these are not required. This is not. This is just for you to understand. You can set the value. What I want to say is, you can set the value for this one, or you can just say that if that word is there, regardless of its value, whether its value is there or not, regardless of its value, if that word logout is there, then it means the end of it. Or you can say that if logout is the value of logout is 100, then I want to logout. It's up to you, but I will keep it very simple. If that word is there, logout, then I'm going to logout. Okay, not by saying logout. I'm going to say destroy the session. The first thing is destroy the session. How do I say destroy the session? The word session is there. You know very well. You started the session. There is a word called as destroy. Destroy all the data registered in the session. Destroy this session. That's it. Then I'm going to send them. Remember, once you're logged out, what is the work? This is secured area. You take them out of the secured area and send them back to the login page. How to send them to the login page, you know very well. You are supposed to send a header, and that header must have a beautiful word called as location, and that location must have the login page. What is the name of the login page? Index.php. So you started with the index.php. Remember, you started with the index.php. Then you came back to the welcome. If you are logging out, you go back to the index.php. So this is what we are going to do it. So after this, there is nothing much you can do in this page. Then you can tell the PHP of this page that die. You don't have anything else to be done. You know, some people say that don't use the word die. Instead, use the word exit. If you don't like, if you are belonging to that group, you just use the word not exit. Exit. It's up to you. I use the word die because you are. It will save you from typing too many characters there. So that is it. That's why I'm using it. So it will reduce your burden. So let's all start from the beginning. So in the beginning, let's go back to the index.php. I'm going to go here to my index.php. So this is in the beginning. So in the beginning, you had index.php, and you said user2, and then you said the password is password. Press enter. You came back to the welcome.php page. Now you send this word logout. When you send the logout, session is destroyed, and you will come back to the index.php page. So simple as that. Okay. So this is what you are going to do it. Okay. Now let's go back to the other story there. And what is this other story that is remaining here? Okay. Other story that is remaining over here is that let's go back to this our thing over here. we are supposed to say not just welcome. We are supposed to say the username. Remember, they said to store the password here. Store use this session for storing username and password. Username, they are using it here. I don't know where they are using password, but I will read the password also. Store and retrieve, they said. So I have stored the username and password, and I'm going to retrieve it here. So if you notice the page over here, index.php, I have stored as what is said in the question. I have stored the username and I have stored the password. I've stored them uh, in the session. I'm going to retrieve them back. Okay, Control C from here. To store, when you are storing it, username is the variable, session is the receiver. This is the giver, this is the receiver. This is the giver, this is the receiver. In the other page, it is exactly opposite. Session will give, user will receive it. Session will give, user password will receive it. So I'm going to just copy this word, Control C, and I'm going to go over here to my session. Now I have to check whether there is the session or not. If there is a session, then I am going to say something. So what I'm going to do here. So let's go here to the next part. If session contains the word, session contains the word, what is the name that we have given here? UN. This is the word. Remember, if this is there inside the session. So if UN is there in the session, how do I say that thing? So I'm going to say if is set session, okay, that session is set, that word is there. So that is what I wanted. You can also check for the password, but even I think that is enough for us. So if that is set, then retrieve the value of username and password. Remember, I just copy it from here. Copied, Control C, copy here, and Control V. Remember, here you are setting the value into the session. In the other page, you have to retrieve this value. So this is the other way around. What is the other way around? You say, if you don't want, you can just type it on your own. If you are finding it difficult, type this word. Username is equal to this one, and password is equal to this one. This is exactly opposite of what you have done in the previous page. In the previous page, you said just format it. In the previous page, you said session UN is equal to username, session pass PW is equal to password. Here, what you are doing is you are exactly doing other way around. Username is equal to the from the session, password is equal to from the session. Exactly opposite. In the first time you are giving, second time you are taking it back. This uname, whatever I have retrieved, I am going to show it here. So after this welcome, you notice after this welcome they are showing the username. Now I don't get where they are showing the password, but they've shown the after this welcome they are showing the username. So I'm going to show the username. How do I show the username? I use PHP's expression here, and I'm going to say username. Show the username. Okay, so show the username to the user. Now the other thing is, what if the session does not contain, is it gone? What if the session does not contain this word? That means somebody directly came here without the passing the barrier, without passing this without passing this barrier. Somebody directly came to the welcome.php. So I can, if you notice here, now I am not trying all these things. If I directly I know that there is some page called as welcome.php, which is secured page. I can directly type and I am existing. Forget about all the stories here. But I came into this page, even though not everything is shown, but something is at least shown. So this is a secured area, and I am not supposed to come without crossing this. So this is like a gate. Without crossing this, I am not supposed to go to the welcome page. Suppose if somebody knows that there is a page called as welcome.php, and if they directly type without the password, then you must say that this is not the place for you to come. Go back to the login and come again. How do I do that thing? So if this UN is not there, when did you get this UN? You got this UN when somebody typed the username and password. If the username is user2 and the password is password, then you are setting this UN. Okay, so that means somebody has given the proper credentials. If the proper credential is given, then you allow it. Suppose the credential is not there, so the else part story is there. Else you send the redirection. How do you send the redirection? You know very well. You send to send the redirection. I already told you. You use the location and then set the location as index.php. Send them back to the location. So this time I'm going to save it. Now if I go and if I just press this welcome.php, if the session is you notice that directly I'm sent to the gate. You go to the gate, come type the password and username. So if I blindly go here and then say, let's go here and then say welcome dot, because I know that welcome.php was there, I go here and then press enter, it will simply send me to the gate and say that go to get the clearance and come. Suppose if I say this is user2 and then if I say password and then if I say login, then I am coming. So welcome user2 and you are logged in. What about if I click on logout? So when I click on logout, the session is destroyed. So I've logged out and I'm coming back. Because I just logged out and I know that I know the password user2 and the password I know it, but I have logged out now. So can I go back again? Remember, I have logged out. That means my credential is everything is wiped out. Can I go to welcome.php? Its answer is no. You cannot. You went outside the gate. Again, give the see. If you go out again, show the ticket and come in. Okay. Here you may say that no, I know the username and password. I know the username and password. So that is why I am entering the secured area. That is good. But when I say log out, what is the meaning of it? I am giving it back. So it is like I go in train. I gave the ticket. Next time the same ticket cannot be used. Once I come out of the train, then the new or bus, then I have to buy the new ticket. I can't again say that yesterday's ticket is no. I logged out. So this is what is the idea. So user comes here. User is Rekha and her password is some password. Okay. She enters it and then say this is not your username and password. Rekha is not there. So this is the first part. But only who is allowed? User2 is allowed and the password is I typed as password is password. I typed the password is password and then say login, you are logged in. Then I said log out, you are logged out. So this is what you are supposed to do it. That's all in this session. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next class. Thank you.